Hey, sisters, I'm coming to you tonight. I was going to talk about needs, but I got distracted by some other juicy details. And I kind of want to go back to my lesson, my Red Sea lessons. This would probably be Red Sea lesson number 7. And number 7 is about possessing your soul. In patience, I possess my soul. And there's a scripture, actually, that comments to that. And it says, in patience, you possess your soul. Luke 21:19. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about possessing your soul, and maybe not so much about the process, or maybe about the process. But, possessing your soul, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Your soul encompasses all that. How do you possess all that? How do you get to that place of possessing yourself? It's kind of hard sometimes because we can be complex individuals, and I think God probably knew that when He made us. He decided to somehow create in us a uniqueness that only we grapple with sometimes. I was just thinking this the other day, I remember being so messed up. I was just anxious all the time. I didn't know who I was. I followed any guy that came by. Well, not any guy, but some guys who came by and gave me attention. And were modest about it. And not so overt. Because I didn't go for the overt, know-it-all kind of guys. I had learned from that. And I decided not to do that anymore. But I was just vulnerable all the time. Feeling inadequate all the time. And just didn't have any direction for myself. Well, in patience, I possess my soul. And so what does possession mean to you? Well, to me, it means to own something. To be able to have it, keep it, take ownership over something. Now, when I say something, that involves your worth. That involves who you are as an individual. It involves how you could conduct yourself, how you carry yourself. It involves how you communicate to other people. It involves, how you relate to other people, how you have a relationship with others. So, in the dictionary, possess means to take a hold of oneself, to be born with, to occupy, or to cherish. We have innately within us something that requires the very best. God made the very best. He put in us the very best when He made us from the beginning. Do we always occupy or walk in that? No, we don't always occupy that space. We don't always think with a God mentality, or we don't always turn ourselves back over to God. And so there's this process of being in relationship with God where you have to learn how to turn your spirit back over to Him in order that He might possess it. Now, I know that's a little deep for some of y'all, but it's really not deep. It's not complex. What God gave you, give it back to Him. If God gave you intelligence, give it back to Him. Lord, I give you back my intelligence. I know that you're helping me to make wise decisions. Lord, I give you back my ability to relate with others. I give that back to you. And I know that you're helping me to be a good person in all my relationships. A person of integrity, a person of knowledge and wisdom. God, I give that back to you. God gave me this, mentor my sister. So God, I give you back, mentor my sister. I don't know what to do with it. But God, in all things, I give you praise, I give you honor, and I know that you know what to do with this. So I'm going to look to you. So there are certain things that we have to give back over to God. Are you giving back over to God what you need to give back over to God? Or are you holding on to it too tightly, thinking that it's really yours? Now, that's the challenge of possessing your soul. That's the challenge of being able to feel secure, to have resolve, and to be content. When we don't hold on to it and we don't try to possess our soul, we lose our hope. We become desperate. We begin to make... I was going to use the word. that it's not a bad word, but it's not a good word either. We begin to make decisions sometimes that are not in and of ourselves. But I want you to think about your weaknesses. Think about where you're weak, and then give that over to God to help you to be strong. God, I need to be stronger in this area. I need to be, have more endurance, more patience with myself. I need to not be anxious. I don't think I do that enough. I have anxiety all the time, and I don't give it over to God. Not on a regular basis. I contend with myself. I talk about myself, beat myself up, and I'll say things about myself that I shouldn't be saying because I'm a child of the King. Do I really think and believe these things, or do I really need to turn them over to God? Now, the grappling part of that is that we grapple too much with ourselves. We contend with ourselves. Contentiousness. What is that about? That's about insecurity. That's about not knowing how to do things right. And so, our righteousness is as filthy rags. There's nothing that we could do so right that God's going to be like, woohoo, you did it right. Go ahead, girl. I mean, He does have angels up there cheering us on. But we really don't know what to do right from the one moment to the next. We really don't know what that is. And a lot of times we just go based on intuition, which is cool because that's what intuition is for. Intuition is to help give us that sense of guidance and genuineness and helping us to really figure things out. Now, God, that's God-given. That's totally and completely God-given. And God gives you that as a gift. So we need to, determine within ourselves, like how we are going to possess that. How are we going to make that on a regular and have it be consistent in our life, a consistent skill, a consistent way that we operate, so that we'll be able to determine how to possess our souls. That's something that becomes a skill over time and over lots and lots of practice. So, I remember writing in my book how I said something about how I began to learn how to wait on God and make decisions from a state of peacefulness. I'm learning how to do that more and more every day. And I think that's what people say when they say, oh, wow, you seem to have so much peace. Well, I'm really pondering every day how to maintain and cultivate and keep peace in my life. Because I love peace. I love to be peaceful. I love to feel good. I appreciate the space that I'm in. And I don't take it for granted at all. But how do you make decisions out of a state of peacefulness? How do you make decisions out of a place of self-composure? How do you make decisions out of a place of self-control? How do you make decisions out of a place of goodness and faithfulness all the time? That's hard to do all the time. But if you depend on God, God makes that possible. So I just want you to think about some of these things. That state of peacefulness, try not to make it out of a place of self-worth, make decisions out of a place of self-worth. Make decisions out of a place of exhaustion or people-pleasing, right? Try not to do that. Because when you deal with challenges, and how you deal with challenges has everything to do with you going hand in hand with God and allowing yourself, you can sit back and be the co-pilot. Let God just ride the plane. Because you know what? He knows all the controls. He knows how to get you from point A, B, and C all the way down to Z. He knows how to do that. And you have to trust Him. So, that's my word for today. Resi situation number 7. Lesson number 7. In patience I possess my soul. Peace.